I want to highlight the African American community. I want to highlight Black culture. It is so beautiful, it's so diverse, and I want people to see that. I want a young Black child to walk into a store one day and see a logo on a jar that resembles them. That's important to me. Everybody loves the logo, especially in Houston, because he kind of looks like a basketball player you guys might be familiar with. So you might not be able to tell, but I'm a 6'5", 240-pound big guy who drives a truck. I'm probably the last person you'd picture baking a cake. My passion is baking. At work, these cakes are a huge hit. They tend to call me Cake Boy, but I've never seen any of my coworkers turn down any cakes. So right now I make several cakes. I wanted to pay homage to African American culture, so my red velvet cake is actually called a Reddy Murphy. My banana pudding cake is a Banana Ross. I have a Choco Con. I also have Lamont James. Baking has always been something that's special to me because as a kid I would sit in the kitchen as my mom would bake, and I would just watch and see all the wonderful things she did and how she created all these wonderful desserts for us. That's when it all began, me being in the kitchen watching her bake, and I love it. About a year ago, I was inspired by a message that I heard from Steve Harvey. He said, if you wake up every day and you're not happy with what you're doing, then you're not living in your passion. And that's when I decided that I was gonna find something that I was more passionate about. What's good, everybody? This is your boy, Mark Lennon, and I'm the owner of Brotha Bakes. Brotha Bakes is a bakery right here in Houston, mostly online. I started it back in November of 2019. So when I decided to come up with my name, Brotha Bakes, I did want something that uses alliteration, therefore the BB. But I also wanted something that kind of sounds Black, something that kind of refers to African American culture. No one had put together the words brother and bakes. So I was like, that has to be the name that I go with. So what I'm making is cake in a jar. They're about the equivalent of 2 cupcakes in a jar. They're layered, so you're gonna have frosting on the bottom, got a layer of cake, some more frosting, another cake, and some frosting to top it off. So why I decided to do cakes in a jar was, I've always loved baking, but I've always baked big cakes. And I thought the idea of trying to ship a baked cake might be a logistic nightmare for me. I decided, you know what, why don't I put them in a jar? So when we started our business back in November of 2019, things were going well, and my business was starting to get some traction. However, COVID-19 occurred and I was forced to shift gears. Fortunately for me, I was contacted by someone from a previous relationship, and she said, hey, would you be interested in doing this commercial with Next Insurance? And we were able to do some good things with that. We were able to donate 220 jars of cake to one of the hospitals here in Sugar Land, and it was an awesome experience. So my process for baking is, I do most of the baking. In fact, I do all of the baking, but I'm so thankful that I have my sons, Israel and Zion. They help me out. They're packaging stuff, they're putting labels on them, they're helping me stuff jars. Even my wife gets in on the act as well. It's a chance to spend time with my family and still do something that I really love. What I want my kids to see and take from this is that they can do whatever they want in life. I hope they're inspired when they see their dad, after many years of doing one thing, just decided to start something new. I want to build a legacy for my boys. Hopefully this part-time baking might turn to full-time, and maybe I'll be driving part-time. We'll just have to see how that goes.